Good morning, everyone. Yeah, we are all good. How are you guys, my friend? How are you guys? How's everyone? How's everyone, my friend? Hi, Andrew. Hi, 人生. Hi, everyone. How are you? How are you? Good to see all the familiar faces in here. Okay, just my friends, just so you know that today's live chat again is about China. Okay, I really like this paper fan so that people can come in without just listening to what I say. They just look directly at this paper fan and they immediately know what this live stream is about. Okay, still, it's a little bit big. Okay, so this live stream is about China. Okay, many people are very interested in knowing more about China, curious about China. So, if you have any questions about China, if you want to know like my opinion on many things, and also what other Chinese people's opinion on many things, just send your questions in the comment. That's so smart, right? Standard starts. Yeah, just send everything in the comment area, okay? In the comment area, and I will try to reply to the questions I receive, okay? Anything about China, any question about the China, just send it in into the comment, okay? Is it gonna be about making your own fan versus buying from China? No, I tailor made this fan from a e-commerce shop merchant myself. I'm not selling the fan, okay, my friend. I'm definitely not selling the fan, okay. So if you have any questions about China, just like on this paper fan said, okay, just say your question. Just tell me your question in the comment area, okay. Let's see what are the other great topics that we can elaborate on today, okay, my friend. Yeah, yeah, anything about China, okay. So far I still don't see any questions coming in. So, guys, if you have any question about China, you have anything, any topics, well, even if it's not China related, that is still fine. Okay, as long as you have something you would like to discuss, and just write it in the comment area, and we will see how we should elaborate more on each topics. Okay, where is the best preferred place to shop for clothes? Um, well, it really depends on what kind of clothes you want, my friend. So, well, first of all, nowadays, like many people start to have my questions about cars. Yeah, sure. Just sending your question, okay? Yeah, so to first answer the question, what is the preferred place to shop for clothes? So nowadays, like many people have already formed the habit of shopping online. So for example, you are right now on the platform Rednote, right? My friend whose name is called Standard Stars. So you are actually watching this live stream on Rednote. So if you actually watch the live stream, you will notice that there are so many other live streamers as well as many content creators actually are making posts, videos of their own clothes and trying to sell it to others. So personally, I have actually done lots of online shopping. Usually, for example, a friend has purchased like really good clothes from one store, and she would then recommend that store to me, and then I become like loyal to that store, and I would buy lots of clothes from there. So that's like one way to buy clothes. So Rednote itself is a very good e-commerce platform, especially for women clothes. I've tried it before. I like it. And of course, other places are like Taobao. Taobao is the place that we would go a lot. So when you're talking about like shopping mall, so for shopping malls, different cities have like very big shopping malls. So to be honest, like recently, I don't have a lot of time to go out shopping. So, and also personally, I'm not the type of girl who are really into shopping, unfortunately. To be honest, I really don't understand like why some girls are really into bags. I never have this habit of buying like luxury bags. Like bags to me are just more like something to carry. So I'm good with a small bag as long as I am able to put my keys, my wallet in it, and that's all good. So I could never really understand like why people like why some girls are really into luxury bag and they like, oh, this bag is so cute. They purchase today and tomorrow it's like, oh, that bag is also so cute. I want to purchase. So I'm not like that. Yeah. Okay. So a lot of people in Africa are telling me cars from China break down easily. That misconception. Yeah, nowadays like so many Chinese people are also driving our like locally produced cars. So like I don't think like our cars are very easily broken, my friend. Yeah, for example, which are the top brands? So EV cars right now are a huge, huge thing in China because the government give lots of subsidies to people who buys EV cars. Well, for first of all, like the cars itself would have like lots of discount if you purchase an EV car compared to you purchase like fossil fuel cars, right? And also, well, when you want to buy a car plate, the license, right? So EV cars plate is green, and like normal fossil cars, like gas cars, car plate is blue. And if you are gonna buy an EV car, you're gonna green car plate, and that car plate's price is like way, way, way less than the green plate. So lots of subsidies. So nowadays, like many people, when they are thinking about buying a new car, they are actually thinking about buying an EV car. And a EV car right now, so many you just look on the street, especially in city like Shanghai, maybe you see like half of the cars are with green plates, which means they are EV cars. And by that, it means that, you know, lots of Chinese people are okay and even likes driving EV cars. And we don't see lots of like you said, breakdowns of those EV car in China. Yeah. So manufacture in China is no longer the manufacturer in China kind of thing before. So nowadays, like when we talk about manufacturing in China, well, things can be like of really good quality. Yeah. Is there any job in China? Yes. Yes, there are jobs in China. So I actually just saw a post today by a Chinese content creators who post a video on Red Note telling, foreigners like if they ever want to find a job in China, what are the websites to go? Yeah, I think it's pretty good because his video got so many likes, and I think I should just make the exact same video for you guys so that if you want to find a job in here, you know which website to go. So he specifically said in that video that if you want to find a job here in China, then like these are the websites that list out the jobs opportunities, and also like usually a lot more opportunities for like English speakers as who wants to be an English teacher, and then like how to apply for those jobs and what are the things you should be mindful to apply for those jobs. Yeah. Are there any foreigners working in Chinese big techs? Yes, exactly. Of course, of course. Like I personally already know a few people who are like foreigners, but they are definitely programmers. So they know how to program and then they work in the big Chinese tech companies here in China. So there are like, because right now like for the Chinese tech companies it's no longer like domestic companies, these are also international companies. So that's why like when they are expanding their business overseas, they definitely do need some like foreigners who are fluent in English or in other languages to come in and help build the market, right? So there are like job opportunities here in those tech companies for foreigners. So I personally know, like if you guys watch this like interview video I made, just go check my main page and you'll see a video of me interviewing a foreigner, and he's from Bulgaria. And somehow he was like back then working at Apple but in China. And then he later introduced me to I think a Russian also work in a tech company. So it's definitely possible for foreigners work in those like large tech companies here in China. Okay? Yeah. How much is the money in Chinese big tech? Depends on the roles. So I know like for like, well, it really depends on the roles. So I believe the kind of salary range can range like really widely depending on the roles you're taking, right? So I know like for example, one of my friend who's working as a mid-level inside Red Note, the company Red Note, right? And he's like annual salary, I'm not sure include bonus or not including bonus, can be as high as over 1 million renminbi. So 1 million renminbi is 100万的话，应该就是14万美金，就是 140,000 US dollars annual salary. Yeah, he's only a mid level, not like a very high ranking working in Retinol. So that's kind of probably gives you a concept of the kind of salaries in here. Yeah. Okay. Should an international engineering student find a job without knowing Chinese? So, well, actually, your question comes in two folds, my friend. So first of all, like, should an international engineering student find a job in China, right? And second is without knowing Chinese, right? So first of all, like, without knowing Chinese is somewhat okay if you are a suitable fit to the job. Okay, so for example, I talked about the several like foreigners who are currently working in those tech companies, none of them knows how to speak Chinese when they first come to China. However, they were able to land a job and stand here and start working, right? But since they've been here and they are exposed to a Chinese speaking environment, right? So gradually they pick up some Chinese. So I don't think like you have to understand Chinese, know Chinese in order to land a job in those international companies. Having said that, like right now we don't have a very good job market. So it would be like very, very hard for foreigners, sometimes for Chinese ourselves as well, to find a job here. So probably not a good time. Yeah. Because when I first started live, there are so many people coming in. Morning, Christy Little C. Yeah, because when I first started this live stream, so many people are in here and asking me like, "Hey, how can I find a job in here?" So I was thinking like, yeah, maybe I should just start a program like for foreigners to help foreigners to find a job in here. And after did a little bit of a market survey, I discovered that it's not easy to do because it's not like 5 years ago. It was not like 5 years ago or like 10 years ago when the market was booming, right? So many startups are building up and the market is expanding and everyone is having like consumption upgrade. And that's the moment that, for lots of foreigners, they would come and start work, right? Especially after the pandemic where we have locked down the cities, a lot of foreigners have left the country, right? So right now, overall speaking, is not particularly a good time to find a job in here. But still, you can have a try, my friend. You can have a try. Whose name is Danny Yao, right? You can still have a try. Yeah, guys, follow me, please. Okay, follow me, please. If you haven't done so, let me see what's the other questions. Okay, yeah, what's the other question? 如果不会说写国语怎么办？赚钱怎么了？Okay, Juan, you're saying that you don't know how to write Chinese, right? So if that's what you're saying, like just look for jobs that doesn't require people to have the ability to write Chinese. Yeah. Steven, you're right. You're right. But we're not gonna dive deep into that topic because I'm also live streaming on right now, which is not so welcoming those kind of topics. 你好吗？我很好，谢谢。Yeah. Are the US tariffs really affecting China or the US media is lying like usual? Lying as usual. I don't really think it's affecting us, our daily lives at all. I don't think it's affecting like at all, So we discussed about it yesterday, my friend, because like, can you actually share with me Shady and Black 99? Like, can you share with me what are the things that your media has been telling you? So how do they say that is affecting our lives? I really want to know like how did they say that like our life are like greatly affected? Because that's well, I don't feel like got affected in the daily lives, okay? So for people who work in the e-commerce industry, definitely affected, right? So from that sense, like I was definitely affected because I one of my startup project was in cross-border e-commerce. So I definitely was affected. However, if you're talking about like daily people's life, like nobody's are affected at all. That's my general perception. So I'm very curious to know that what are currently saying out there in the Western media. Yeah, I really want to say. The right says that you can survive without USA. Yeah, oh my God. Okay, this is a very interesting topic. You know what? When I posted these videos on my social media, right? I posted both on the Chinese platform, which is Rednote, and also on TikTok as well as on Instagram, right? It's so funny that I got so many interesting comments, right? Some comments said that, oh, you know what? We USA is, China's like biggest buyers. So that's why like you guys can't survive without us. Many Americans said that. And that is you guys have no idea like how Chinese people would find that to be like how hilarious. Like when we see like Americans said that, you know what, being so overly confident and said that, you know what, like you Chinese are not gonna survive and live without USA. That is just so hilarious. And I was like, whenever I saw the comments like that, because I was the content creator, that I have to be like polite. Like I don't usually just argue back with people in the comment areas, right? But somehow it's just oh my God, it's just like so hilarious, right? When I first made it a video, right? And telling people, you know what? Because when having tariff, it's not like Chinese people who are paying tariff, right? It's US people who are paying. So eventually that would cause the price in the US to be skyrocket high, right? And some people are like, no, that's not gonna happen, you know. And after a while, and wait till now, right? So many Americans out there are complaining, right? Oh my God, well, where are the places I can buy cheap Chinese stuff? Oh, I need to pack myself up and I need to come to China to do all the shopping. You know, there's so many videos out there in the US on TikTok that went so viral, right? And back then people didn't believe in what I said. That's just so funny. Yeah. I feel like sometimes it's not okay. It's not well, sometimes considered to be quite stupid to be overly confident. So you guys can see that, you know, how Americans people can just be fooled, you know. We laughed. We laughed so much. Yeah. So if we have a very deeper analysis, 现在都是播完了吃早饭，对的。你是不是很享受看我吃早餐这一趴呀，Little Earth？那你应该是个老粉了，因为我已经不吃早餐很久了。对，因为每次一吃早餐就开始掉嘛，一开始人数就掉，然后我就觉得好不容易辛辛苦苦把这个人气积累到这么旺，结果因为我一吃早饭，啪一下回到解放前，然后再慢慢 build 上去，就有点得不偿失。再说我也不差这半小时吃早饭嘛，对吧？所以我就之后再吃早饭了。对，Yeah, and then it's very interesting that so we have discussed about yesterday. So we were saying that even though in China we see lots of US brands, we see a lot of like 可以边喝水，对对对，是的，我要多喝点水，没错。Yeah, so even though we have lots of US brands here in China, because like one of the great things that American companies are super good at is to how to say like how to expand their global footprints, right? So you have like so many conglomerates right now in the US, right? American firms who have so many subsidiaries in many countries, right? Have expanded their markets in so many countries. So you do see more US brands in different countries than like Chinese brands or like other countries' brands, right? Overall speaking, for example, no matter it comes to which industry, there are usually just a lot of international US brands. So that this US brand is not only just going to be selling stuff in the US, but also selling stuff in other countries, right? So, for example, we have actually discussed about yesterday. Just name whatever like US brands in the comments, right? For example, yesterday we discussed about like car brands, right? We discussed about, you know, toothpaste brand like Colgate, right? A lot of Chinese people here use Colgate as toothpaste, right? And also you could also talk, let me see what are those things that we're using. For example, I'm using Apple stuff, right? iPhones and Macs, right? And what's the other? Like Levi jeans, right? Yeah, so we have like so many American brands in here. But the thing is that US brands doesn't equal to US made. So we discussed about yesterday, right? US brand doesn't equal to US made. So like the terms only applies to US made stuff, okay? Doesn't apply to US brands but locally made. So if there is something that is made in China but later on sold in China, even though that is an American brand, that's gonna have no impact on the price here. Okay? Right? Do you guys understand it? So what does the tariff mean? It means that it only happens when there is like import export, right? You sell one stuff to another country, and when the goods arrive in another country, arrives at the port of the other country, they're going to apply a tax on it, and that tax is called tariff, right? So if there is no import export, if it's only produced manufactured in one country and then later on sold in the country, then there's no import and export and therefore no extra tax on it. Does it make sense, my friend? Does it make sense? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? 就听懂了 OK 这个单词。如影随形，你太可爱了。就是你可以下载那个叫什么讯飞什么听见啊，有一个 APP，它可以实时翻译的。就是你就把那个 APP 开着，好像就可以有字幕在画面上弹出来，你就可以听我讲，然后而且还可以在评论区跟老外互动，还挺有意思的。Yeah, yeah. Okay, you guys see, right? Okay, there are still people don't really understand. I'm gonna explain again. Okay, so many people, especially American people, have this kind of misconception that when they have this tariff in their country, it's the foreigners paying, not themselves. Okay, so I remember there's an interview in a Chinese 语速略微慢一点就更好了，我可以听懂多一些。好的，我说慢一点啊，尽量的。Okay, so you're an American, right, Mike? Welcome, first of all. Guys, follow me, please, if you haven't done so. Okay, so I'm gonna explain it very slowly. Okay. many Americans or also like many Chinese people don't really understand how does it work. Okay, I'm not just going to use this word tariff because I noticed that whenever I mention this word, like Red Note is just going to restrict my my traffic. So I'm just going to use a replace word. Okay. Okay, just let me think. What are the good suggestion as a replacement word? 我 follow Nitrous 一段时间，口语都变好了，很好，你给我打广告了，谢谢 Christy Little C. Okay, so okay, uh, what's our good word? So I'm gonna just use this fist. Okay, you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, so okay, so when, for example, today you are a manufacturer. You are in country A. Okay, you're a manufacturer in country A, and you manufacture, let's say, this lipstick. Okay, this lipstick, once you manufacture it, you want to sell it to country B. Okay, you want to sell it to country B. That means you're exporting this lipstick to country B. And for country B, they are importing a lipstick from country A, from your country. Okay. So up till now, everyone understand, right? So this is like importing, exporting, and importing from country A to country B. Like it's exporting from country A lipstick to country B. Okay. So that's importing and exporting. Okay. Guys understand this part, right? All right. Yes. So then what does tariff happens? So country B said that nowadays we're going to apply this tariff, okay? On every product we're going to importing from country A. Okay, so that means that if this lipstick arrives in country B, in order to have this product released from the port to be sold later on to the people inside country B, they need to apply an extra layer of money to it so that afterwards it can be released to here, okay, to country B, right? So who will import the lipstick from country A to country B? Who will import a lipstick from country A to country B? Guys, who would? Who would import it? Who would import it? Tell me in the comments. Does anyone know? Does anyone know? I agree with you. I think the world should be duty free. Yeah. So it's usually the shops inside country B that is selling lipstick, then they will have to pay for the tariff in order to have it get into the market, right? Makes sense, right? So for example, today you are, let's say you're Levi's in country B, right? And you're gonna have all your jeans made, manufactured in China because the cost there is low, the labor cost there is low, the skills are the workers are more skillful, and then like factories are more efficient, everything, right? You're Levi's. You are the company of Levi's, which is an American firm, and you want to have all the jeans manufactured in China, and then you're going to import all the jeans from China to your country so that later on you're going to sell all the jeans to the Americans. So who pay it? Who pay it? It's the Levi's jeans of the America, right? It's the US branch of the jeans that are going to pay for it, right? So that's why I say, like, if you increase that extra payment, what happens? So before they're going to import everything at a price of $10 because you have an extra layers of this cost, they're going to import everything at a cost of $20, $30. So that's going to be causing the cost to be higher. And once the cost is higher, what happens? You know, those companies, they would not want to lower their profits, right? Because the cost is up, and what they will do, they're going to lift the price up. So what happened eventually? So all the jeans inside the country will have a higher price. So that's how it works. Okay. Many people don't understand it. Many people don't really understand it. They thought like, oh yeah, because like they don't dive down into the economics basics, the foundations of the whole concept. So workers are more skilled. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, minor correction. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, I was like feeling it doesn't sound really right, but how should I say it correctly? You're right. Yeah, the workers there are more skilled. Thank you. Yeah. So eventually it should be the consumers in the US who are going to pay for a very high tariff as well. Like you guys could also say that, yeah, since China has fighted back with an equal amount of high tariff, right? So Chinese people would also have to pay for it eventually, right? So the thing is that we have to look back at what are the kind of amount of imports and exports of each countries, and then also later on, you know, what are each countries importing and exporting? Okay, so that's the next question, right? So first of all, like America imports like way, way, way more than China. Like the amount of things that America import from China is like 2 to 3 times higher. Okay. So China import like, 100 US dollars from US, which means like US are gonna import 200, 300 from China. Okay. 乖乖，现在小红书这么洋气吗？洋气了。哎呦，今天一讨论这个话题以后，这个就被限流了，很明显可以感受到限流了，这个在线人数少了很多呀。没事，我们先把这个话题结束掉之后再去聊其他话题吧。Yeah. Okay. So what happens? Yeah, guys, you get it right. So first of all, like way more things that's imported from China to US than US from China. So if we are importing the exact same thing from each country, and then because this country imports more than this country, so eventually the price impact of this country is going to be higher than this country. That makes sense, right? 限流就送多排，好，谢谢你们，谢谢你们帮我拱人气哈。Yeah, it makes sense, right? Yeah. So we are having the same amount of like, say for example, if we are having the same amount of tariff, and then like when you have like this country have more imports than this country, then eventually, like I said, consumer of this country is gonna have a higher price increase than this country. So that makes sense, right? First of all, right, guys, that makes sense right now. First of all, right? And second, then we can dive down deeper to see what are the things that each country are importing from each other. Okay. So first of all, majority of the stuff that US imports from China are daily essentials. Lots of people are saying, oh, no, 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 China actually imports just bed linens, those kind of things. That's not considered to be daily essential. That's exactly one comment I saw in my post, under my post on TikTok. But you have to know, like, if you look around at your home and you start a challenge, which is throw away all the Chinese made products in your home or any products that contains a Chinese made components, a Chinese made gadgets, and then you're going to throw it away. You basically just going to throw away like 70-80% of the stuff inside your home because there are so many things that is manufactured in China, right? I said like you just randomly pick anything. Probably the water bottle you are currently drinking is made in China. The clothes you are wearing, like lots of like Levi's, like I said, Levi's jeans, right? Lots of like Chinese clothes, like Zara shirts. These are all made in China. So if you are gonna throw away anything's inside, yeah, iPhones as well, right? So many things inside the iPhone. Well, I wouldn't say, like I explained yesterday, I wouldn't say the entire iPhone was made in China, but there are definitely some components of the iPhone are made in China. That is 100% for sure. Okay, 100% for sure. I'm not so sure like which part of the iPhone is made in China, but at least one part of the iPhone is definitely made in China. Okay, so if you say if you start this challenge, which is like, hey, I'm in America, I don't really like China, I don't like Chinese made stuff. I'm gonna start this challenge by throwing away anything in my home that is either made in China or at least have like one component of it that is made in China. You're basically just throwing almost everything from your home. So that's how it's like. And there was also a very interesting content creators in China, like Chinese content. I really like him, and he's like his account is called Buddha Wan Wan. You guys can also search it. Chinese friends, like you guys can also search him on Red Note called Buddha, Buddha Wang Wang, 就是菩萨王王。很搞笑，这哥们儿太搞笑了。I followed him. He has like quite many followers on both social media platform, and he made a very funny kind of video. And he was like, guys, I'm gonna show you the American produced, American manufactured stuff. Oh, or like I'm gonna show you the made in US stuff I'm using right now, and here you go. Nothing. He made some like really funny video of that. Like I was like laughing. And also he made another very interesting video. Like that's the video that I started following him and that got so many like, and he's like, you know what, your government is just like your boyfriend and my government is like my boyfriend, and my boyfriend is rich and treating me well in bed, and your boyfriend is like blah blah blah, and he's like, my boyfriend is making me feel like, oh, and your boyfriend is making you feel like, oh, why are you doing that to me? So funny. And that guy's like really a genius. Yeah, I not only followed him, I also joined his chat group. Like really really funny. Yeah, somehow back to the topic. So like, I quote that example just to show you guys like everything we're using here are all like majority of the things we're using here in China are Chinese made. Even though they are American brands, they are Chinese made. So, like I said, for example, let me see what are the stuff here that is a US brand but is made in China. Okay, I don't have this. Well, I can't find anything on this table around me. I have a quite big table. Okay, from here to all the way there. Okay, it's a big table. Okay, it's my like office working table, like my home office working table. It's a very big table, but somehow I couldn't find a single thing. It's a really busy table, like lots of stuff on the table. I guarantee you, it's not a very tidy kind of table. It's pretty messy, like a lot of stuff. But I couldn't find one single thing that is American brand and that is like American brand, 100% made in China. Okay, so however, like for example, the toothpaste I'm using, I said before, like the toothpaste I use, which is Colgate, that is an American brand, but that is made in China, my friend. That is made in China. So if it's US brand, it is made in China and later on sold in China, even though you have like skyrocket high tariff on it, nothing is going to happen because we still have the same price of the Colgate toothpaste we're going to use every day. No price impact at all. However, like for friends, like if Colgate toothpaste you're using right now is manufactured in China and later on imported to the US, and then after your tariff, you're going to have a price increase of the toothpaste in your country. So we're not going to have a price increase of the toothpaste here with the same brand Colgate, but you guys will if that toothpaste is made in China. Okay. Fox News 那边一直 win，不停的 W 接着 W，不能停下来 W 把我笑死。对，好像现在很流行打一个 W，yeah。Oh my God, Colgate! What? You're a huge fan of Colgate, my friend? That damn Colgate. Yeah, but you guys now understand everything, right? I think I explained it pretty clear. You guys understand the kind of logic behind that, right? So we can also further, just dive down on what are the things that Chinese people are importing from America, okay? So, well, first of all, when it comes to daily essentials, there are two things that we import a lot from the US. The first is soil beans. 那就用别的牌子吧，啥意思？ My desk look like the Gaza Strip. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So two things. One is like soil beans. Okay. I mentioned yesterday as well. And the second is fossil fuels. Okay. So soil beans, I think like a lot of the soybeans here in China were imported from the US. However, China started from 7 years ago, started diversifying the imports of soybeans from other countries. For example, Brazil. Brazil also produces lots of soybeans. So by implementing the diversification strategy, like when it comes to importing soybeans from not only one country but multiple countries, Brazilian soybean farmers are filthy, stinky rich. For tofu, yeah, yeah, you can confirm, right? Yeah, so by doing that, we are actually diversifying our importing sources. So even though, like, okay, if there is going to be a price increase, if we import soybeans from this country, then we're going to just shift the import from other countries, right? Because there are so plenty of other countries out there who are also able to produce lots of soybeans and can export to our country, right? So that's okay. And the second thing is fossil fuel. Okay, fossil fuel. So fossil fuel, first of all, can also be you can easily find replacement in other countries, right? Like many other countries are very rich in fossil fuels, right? And second thing is that right now China has implemented those kind of strategies for a very long time, right? Trying to replace many things that burns fossil fuels rather than instead of just burning fossil fuels. They try to encourage people to use or try to invent or develop manufacture stuff that burns not fossil fuels, right? Burns electricity, uses electricity rather than fossil fuels. So that's also a strategy of diversification so that we don't rely heavily on the fossil fuel imports from other countries, right? So from that sense, to be honest, like if you look at those like daily essentials, that's not gonna cause a huge impact to our daily lives. And these are like the two most, the biggest like daily essentials we're importing from the US, right? If you look at the rest of daily essentials, no matter it's like toothpaste or those bottles, water bottles, or like beddings, right? And the clothes we wear, accessories, or like little boxes, everything calendars or this thing. Does anyone know what is this thing? Do you guys know what this thing is? Do you guys know what is this thing? Take a guess. Take a guess. That's genius. I understand. You understand that right now, right? Yeah. You guys cannot escape our food products because your neighbors don't have enough. Oh, that is not true, my friend. That is not true. You should, I really encourage you to do a further research on that. We can feed ourselves pretty well. So we are a very big agriculture country as well. So I have previously shared about the vegetable basket project, right? So China started from 30, is it 30? 40 years ago, 1978. Starting from 1978, China introduced this new project, which is called Vegetable Basket Project, which from the country level strategically, you know, sorted out like how should we allocate different land for growing vegetables, growing enough food for people to eat. So that's why, like, if you look, if you're telling me that, okay, your country is a big big like agriculture company, sorry, if you're telling me that your country is a big agriculture country, okay, I'm gonna finish this. You guys keep on guessing. What is it? Okay, you guys keep on guessing. So far, I don't see anyone guess it right. Okay, so far, I don't see anyone guessing it right. You guys can keep on guessing what it is while I finish this topic. Okay, guess what it is. Okay. So, like if you are saying that your country is a big agriculture country and we are not a big agriculture country, 100% Chinese people will just laugh to hell. Because I have done this survey before, my friend. I have done this survey before. Hair accessory, like this is so ugly. Who would use it as a hair accessory, Casey? Yeah, take a guess again, Casey. Okay, take a guess again. What is it? Okay, so where were I? Oh my God, where were I? Where were I? Yeah, so yeah, I did a survey before. I asked like, hey, people, do you guys have lots of like fresh vegetables? Do you have like, is it very easy for you to buy like fresh vegetables, fresh fruit, fresh meat in your grocery stores at a very cheap price? Like majority of the Americans said no. Like many Americans said that, okay, here we eat lots of like frozen vegetables, frozen fruits, frozen meat, like everything is frozen, like nothing is fresh, and everything is so costly, so pricey, right? I've done this survey before. What's this? 这是啥? Take a guess. Okay, take a guess. What's this? Okay. Okay, and also like right, and I later on shared that here in China, like every Chinese people are like so easy to buy. We are so easy to buy a very fresh vegetable, fresh fruit, and I showed people live, right? I did it once. For some of you have seen it, right? So I just sit here doing live streaming, and I take out my phone and I just do it while I'm live streaming and tell people, hey, what are the things you want me to order? Like there are people saying like, I want to see you order a live fish, a live shrimp. And some people say like, I want you to order a pastry, like ramen, right? I want you to order fruit, watermelon, right? Everyone just say it. And I do it while I'll sit here doing live streaming and show people how I order everything online, and they are just delivered to my home immediately after like 40, 15 minutes, right? Is there anyone who have seen me doing that last time? Is there anyone who have seen me doing that, right? So, aha, Louis the cat. Now you know, right? Okay, have you guys, take a guess what's this? Take a guess what's this? Okay, take a guess what's this? What's it? Yeah. Yes, right. Toyman, you saw me, right? Yeah, yes, you are a witness. Yeah, W, you're also a witness, right? So I was not lying. Like so fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, like everything fresh is so easily accessible here in China. And you're telling me what? You're telling me again, like, oh, without the US, then Chinese people are gonna starve because we have nothing to import from your country and we don't have agriculture here and there. Chinese people will all laugh to death because compared to your country, we are way, way, way better getting access to fresh vegetables, fresh meat, fresh fish, fresh fruits at a cheaper, way cheaper price compared to your country. And there's still Americans out there saying that, you know what, you're not gonna survive 我真的觉得是太搞笑了，真的是就是 哎呀，我真的要用中文稍微说一下，而且老美就在那边说，我说你知道吗？我们是很大的农业国，你们要是没有我们的话，你们中国人就不行了，活不了了。You're not gonna survive, you know。很多老美说这话，我真的是笑掉大牙了，你知道吗？就这么多美国人天天只能卖冷冻蔬菜、冷冻水果吃，买不了新鲜蔬菜、新鲜鱼。我们随便一个河马，就一条鲜活的鱼都能寄到家里边，然后结果他们在那边说，Oh, you guys are not gonna survive without us. That is so funny, my goodness. Yeah. Take a guess what's this, my friend? Right? That's actually so funny to my people. Yeah. Take a guess what's this? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so since people have guessed for a long time, so I'm gonna just tell you guys what it is. Don't have a clue. I have a I mean a clue. Don't have a claw. I mean a clue. That is funny. Okay. Yeah, it's some people got it right. Stephen, I remember Stephen got it right, and Louis the Cat got it right. It's a hair volume increaser, which is like doing this. Okay, I'm gonna let's see. Okay, you guys, let's see it before after. Okay, it actually works. Okay, well, actually, just doing it by one time is already adding the volume. Okay, we just make the volume to be okay. Yeah, so it's pretty flat, right? Okay, remember this is before. Okay, this is before. Let's see what's the after. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna just put it for a while, okay, while we still do the live stream. Yeah, I knew it. Ramen fork was a close second though. Ramen fork. Oh my god, Louis the Cat, you're always so funny. Oh my god, you have such an interesting personality. Yeah, I wish that one day we can meet in person. I'm pretty sure we can be really good friends. You're so funny. Yeah, use this to eat ramen. I have a bigger one. Okay, use this to eat ramen. Pretty genius. Yeah. Nice, but I'm bold. I can't say it loud because orange monkey gets angry, but we love China. Wyber, okay. It's Wyber or Wilbur? Let me see. It's Wilbur, right? Okay, guys, follow me, please, okay? Which websites do we use to contact Chinese manufacturers? So, Darklight, what are the products you're looking for? What are the products you're looking for? So, well, for example, I do have like lots of sourcing resources myself, right? I have sourcing resources when it comes to all those accessories. And these are the manufacturers, these are the factories that make kind of accessories for large brands like Gucci, Prada, Chanel, you know. And I also have like resources of sourcing those manufacturers that manufactures sunglasses. Okay, summertime is coming, right? Sunglasses that also produce the exact sunglasses for also these like large brands like also Gucci, Prada, Chanel, right? So if you look at those like large brands when they sell a pair of sunglasses, it's easily like 300 US dollars to sometimes like 1000 US dollars. However, if I get those kind of sunglasses from those kind of same factories, well, with different design, of course, right? Otherwise, there's like IP problems, right? The cost is like way lower, way lower. The cost can be like as low as less than $50. So I can definitely do that. Yeah, you had me at sunglasses, right? Summertime is coming. So like for lots of like very fashionable sunglasses, like we got it from China factory, that's gonna be so cheap. And so that's why I'm actually doing that, my friend. So my website is about to be launched very soon, and on the website, gonna sell those like accessories and sunglasses with same quality to those like large brands, but like way cheaper. Okay, my friend. Yeah, I need a few of those, right? CB bar. So guys, follow me, please. Okay, follow me, please. When that website is launched, I'm just gonna tell you guys. Okay, definitely gonna give all of you discount. Way a lot of discount. So can I buy the hair fork on your site? So far no hair fork, but if you do want me, you don't want to buy that, you can just message me. I can just buy one and send to you for free. you know. Yeah, let's see. It's been a while. Let's see if it's really working. Yeah, I think it's working, right? So the volume is a little bit better than before. Yeah, like it's if before it's like this and now it's like this, right? It's definitely working. Yeah. Yeah. So like if you look at the shape of my head, so this part is pretty flat. So I do need a hair volume increaser to increase my hair volume. So this part will look like higher. Yeah. Because I have a pretty big forehead. Yeah, and a pretty high hairline. So when I have like a very flat hair, it makes me look bold, right? For example, look this. It makes me look like really bold, right? Yeah. So that's why like I do need some hair volume increaser. Yeah. 哎，我觉得我其实很适合做带货主播。I feel like I'm pretty talented to be like a seller host. Like after showing you guys how to use this hair volume increaser, like do you guys want to buy this thing? 下次直接试试直播带货算了。Yeah, so cool. That's a very cool invention, right? For people who wants to, yeah, basically, for example, every morning you're just gonna do this, right? And you just start to brush your teeth, do whatever you want, and eat breakfast. And the moment you want to go out of your house and to the work, then you just take it off and just like do a little of arrangement, and you're gonna have a bigger hair volume. Looks like way nicer, right? Yeah, we all want to buy one now, right? You all need this. OK，我觉得可以啊，我以后直播带货算了。好多美国朋友都说哇，我想买，我想买。Yeah, there's so many American friends out there on TikTok are saying that, oh, I need this, I need this. Yeah, that is funny. Yeah. Okay, maybe after I launched my website where you guys can, I also opened a TikTok shop. So once I have everything done, sorted out, okay, I'll just show you guys some of the stuff that I am selling. You guys can then place order and buy it. And then, later on, of course, at the same time, we can discuss like many interesting topics at the same time as usual. But for example, I can just ask you guys to guess what it is, what's the price of it, etc. while we just keep on talking. And if anyone's interested in buying, then they're just gonna buy, okay? Yeah, so that's a great way for me to monetize my social media account. At the same time, still having you guys enjoying the kind of content I'm sharing in here, right? Yeah, I'm a Red Note fan. No TT for me. I'm so glad there are so many people in here who really love Red Note. So that's why I posted a video yesterday. I'm not so sure like people have seen it, okay? I shared in a video that I said that it was very interesting that whenever the orange dude wanted to do something, or the orange dude or some other orange dude, okay? I'm not mentioning specifically one orange dude, okay? I'm just mentioning a bunch of orange dudes, but you guys understand what I'm saying, right? So whenever some orange dudes wants to do something, somehow eventually it just flipped the other way around because American people are so rebellious. For example, in January, they wanted to ban TikTok, right? Many orange dudes want to ban TikTok. And what happened is that people, instead of going to Facebook, Instagram, people just flooded to Red Note. People just flooded to Red Note, and they're just not following the kind of instructions that they were told to do, right? And then later on, what happened is like after the tariff thing, right? And people all just flooded to the Chinese websites like Dunhuangwang, like DHgate, right? Those kind of websites do, and some Americans are even packing and said, "I'm gonna come to China to do shopping." And also because right now American people don't need to apply for a visa to come to China, right? Many American people, you can just come to China. Well, not many. It's like all American people, as long as you have an American passport, without any visa, you could just come to China and stay here for 10 days, 240 hours, right? So yeah, so easy. You have tried DHgate, right? Yeah. So there are Americans saying that, oh, since there's no visa required for me to travel to China, why don't I just buy a flight ticket and just fly to China to buy everything I need and just fly back to the US, right? That's how I'm able to enjoy the very, very cheap Chinese price without getting affected by the kind of policies introduced by those orange dudes, right? And that is so, so, so funny because eventually that is going to also do China good because having so many American friends coming in over to China to shopping, that's good for our tourism industry, that is good for our consumption industry, and that is going to be good to our general economy, right? So that is just so funny that also again, like very similar to what happened in January when the TikTok ban, right, my friend? That is just so funny. Yeah. Yeah. And then get a rebate from China. Exactly. What will Chinese airlines that fly Boeing planes do? Will help them. So, well, you made a point, Paulo Mendes. So you made a point. So when it comes to those planes, then there must be a price increase. So we're not saying it's not going to affect China at all. Definitely going to affect China. So it really depends on what kind of stuff. Okay. So when you are talking about those Boeing planes, then definitely going to have a price increase. And if you are talking about, but they're also like Chinese people are also trying to develop our very own planes as well, right? So if you're also talking about those like medical appliances, the most advanced medical appliances are from Uncle Sam's country, your country. So those kind of things are also going to have a price increase. Where I'm not saying, I'm being very unbiased, okay? I'm not saying that like nothing in China is not gonna have a price increase. I'm saying that majority of the daily essentials, that's not going to have a price increase. But when we are talking about, like you said, those like Boeing airplanes, or those like medical appliances, I remember what's it called, like Da Vinci operation machine，达芬奇这个那个手术仪器啊，Da Vinci operation machine. So these are the things that will have a price increase for sure. Okay, yeah. Let's see what's other comments. Okay, 不是 ABC 哦，是土生土长中国人，但是把英文学好了，哥们儿。Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, a surgical, yeah, surgical robot. Yeah, Da Vinci. Yeah, you know it, right? So the surgical robot of Da Vinci right now, that is like definitely the best in the US, not in any other countries. So if we want to import from there, then definitely going to be in a price increase if we go in to purchase more Da Vinci surgical robots, right? Yeah. So we made the best planes in Toulouse, France with Airbus. Yeah, Airbus, exactly, right? So one way of doing that is we're just gonna import more Airbus planes instead of Boeing, right? So still like ways to play it around, right? The monkey's policy of arresting foreign students is great. Oh my god. Anyhow, like guys, follow me, please. Yeah. So what does China import from USA? Okay, so I have mentioned before. So the two biggest daily essentials are like soybeans and also fossil fuels, followed by, like I said, many medical appliances like Da Vinci surgical robots, right? And also chips. Okay, so lots of the chips, especially the very high-end chips, okay? Very high-end chips. Those like high-end chips are manufactured in the US, and that's like where we import them. So those high-end chips would be mostly used where? Mostly used in those like high-end laptops, high-end computers, and also in many of the EV cars in China, okay? However, if you are talking about those like ordinary, like mid kind of mid-market kind of laptops, then they would use domestic made, China made kind of chips, which will not be affected by the whole thing that's going on right now. Okay. So if you are looking at those high-end market of those electric appliances, those high-end market of those 3C products, then they uses the most advanced chips that is imported from the US. And those kind of products will then have a price increase, will be impacted. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, hidden fox, you're also right. Some of the high-end chips are also made in Taiwan. So like, well, here's the thing. So some of the high-end chips are like made in Taiwan by TC 台积电怎么说？台积电是什么？ TC 啥来着？ Guys, tell me what's 台积电? TC, the biggest chip company in Taiwan. TCMC, TCWC. What's the name of 台积电? TSMC. Yeah, thanks. Social Inc. NAC. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so TSMC, right? So like lots of the very high end kind of chips were manufactured in TSMC. So we import TSMC chips, then that's not going to be affected by what's going on right now, right? Having said that, there are also like some very high end chips that's manufactured still in US, okay? So if we want to import those like very high end, like the most advanced like Nvidia chips, I think they are manufactured in the US, and then we'll have to then buy them higher, price higher, okay? So but if you're looking at the rest of the chips, even though it's like Nvidia, which is a US brand, right? Many of the chips under Nvidia is actually manufactured in Taiwan and China. So if we are going to just use those kind of Nvidia chips, that's not going to cause any price increase if they are locally made here in China. Okay, my friend. Yeah. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation. Thank you, guys. Yeah, like four letters. Somehow I just don't really remember it because Chinese way of saying is 台积电. Yeah, yeah. So that's basically. I just want an app where I can buy please, or a website. What do you mean? Wait. What is please? Yeah. Are Australians eligible for 240 hours of shopping? You know what, Janeway? You guys are not only eligible for 240 hours shopping, you guys are eligible for 30 days visit in China, Jane Wei from Australia. Because we have formed this kind of agreement with Australia. So, friends, you are from Australia and you're from New Zealand, you can come to China visa free for 30 days. Okay. So the policy is way, way, way better than Americans. So for American people, Canadian people, Mexican people, like for those country people, if they come to China, they can come in China visa free on the 240 hours. That is transit visa, which means they're only transiting in China. So they cannot just fly directly from China to where they come from, like book a return flight to come China and go back. Okay, that's not how it works. Okay, so for the transit visa, the 240 hours transit visa, people will have to fly to China and then fly to another destination afterwards. They just don't fly back to the country they come from. Okay, so that's not how you're going to use the 240-hour like visa free visit to China. Okay, but for Australian friends whose name is called Jane Wei, you know what? You guys can come to China, just do the return flight, whatever, and stay here for 30 days visa free. That's for Australian, New Zealand people, and some other European countries. So like the policy is like way, way, way more friendly to you guys, Australian people. Okay. Is there any Apple website where I can buy clothes or phones? Oh, plenty of them, my friend Hamdan. Yeah. Well, if that's the thing that people want to know, I can also make a video of that. Yeah. Mhm. The China ban vapes. What is vapes? Yeah. I just Googled. We have like 30 days in Norway too, right, my friend? Yeah, Norway is also like one of the 30 days like visa-free visit to China. So friends, come to visit China, my friend. Come visit China, visit my country. Yeah. We really think this live stream is very interesting. Okay, guys, follow me please if you haven't done so. Okay, follow me please if you haven't done so. Yeah. What's the contact info for those manufacturer in just you just mentioned? So what do you mean? Like, do you have to have vaccine to go to China? Well, you have to check your own country policy. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about that. I am super scared of planes, so I may not make it. Just well, if you're afraid, wait, are you? Why are you scared of planes? I mean, but there are other ways to come to China. I know there are some like luxury yachts. Is it called yachts? 就是那种非常大的，我 I don't even know. Well, all of a sudden I don't really remember how to say it in Chinese. 就是那种大的那种，你们知道吗？那个非常大的那个船叫啥来着？中文叫啥？我都突然间想不起来了。非常大的那个船就是可以 cruise, yeah, yeah, cruise, yeah, yeah, cruise. Right, my friend, you're right. How do you say cruise in Chinese? Cruise, what's cruise in Chinese? 有没有中国宝宝告诉我一下 cruise 的中文是啥？我突然想啊，游轮，对对对，游轮，对对对，脑子断电了。耶、yeah,，谢谢中国宝宝们。对，有很多游轮。There are actually lots of cruise trips that travel from Europe to China, travel from US to China. So if you're scared of plane, those can be a better option. Yeah, and also I have never tried a cruise trip myself, but everyone who have tried it told me it's so much fun. So you basically could do so many things on the cruise trip because there are like lots of entertainment kind of items on cruise Titanic, yeah, on Titanic ship on those kind of cruises, and you will never be bored. And also very good for big families because there are good items for children, there are good items for the elderly, for men, for women. So everyone just can find their thing and just enjoy their own time. And it's not like family has always be to be together. And when it's lunchtime and dinner time, the family come back and gather together and have like lunch and dinner together. And for the rest of time, everyone's just gonna enjoy their own time on the cruise and doing their own stuff. And still, it's like family bonding time, right? So I think that is considered to be quite fun. Yeah, 游轮还是游轮呢？对哦，它13点水还是应该是那个第二个吧，应该是第二个游轮吧。Yeah, let me see what's that. Hi yo, is there anything specific about West versus East discussing? Today we actually spent lots of time discussing the tariff wall. So cruises are fun if you can afford. Yeah, you have tried cruises, right? I haven't tried it. It's definitely on my bucket list, so I would definitely try it. Ever watched A.T.? Mr. T had to be tranquilized in order to fly. Wait, what does that mean? Well, I haven't watched it. You made me really curious and want to watch it. Yeah. Why are you ignoring my messages? Oh, where in China are you? I'm in Shanghai, my friend. I'm in Shanghai. Yeah. Now I'm not ignoring you, okay? Mighty fine. Not ignoring you, okay? Where in China is the best to visit to meet with manufacturers? Which ones are good, trustworthy? So again, dark light, you have to tell me what are the things you want to import you want to purchase. Okay, so different areas in China are very good at producing, manufacturing different kind of stuff. Okay, so for example, I mentioned yesterday, for example, one city called Yiwu, which is in Zhejiang province of China. They're very good at manufacturing like small gadgets, small stuff. Like for example, this paper fan, right? This paper fan and this like huasha ban. Do you guys know what it is? This is like for blood increasing, enhancing the blood circulation of your face so that I could lift your face. Okay, it really works. Okay, really works. 我感觉我真的可以做带货主播啊，来给你们展示一下。Okay, like do this. After for a while, you would find your face lift up. You know, oh, it's so comfortable. Yeah. So like Yiwu are very good at manufacturing these kind of stuff and also accessories, right? And also when it comes to like, for example, sunglasses, right? Sunglasses is other areas. There are Qingdao, there are Taizhou, and also there are also Zhejiang province that are manufacturing these, right? When you are talking about 3C products, like those kind of products, then it's Shenzhen area. So there's not like one place in China because China is one of the biggest. Okay, if you're looking at for manufacturers for accessories, clothes, shoes, small technology. Well, so Dark Light, you should actually just DM me, message me, okay? After the live stream, just message me because I do have lots of sourcing myself, very reliable sourcing myself, okay? I have because I'm doing cross-border e-commerce myself. So if you need sourcing resources, I can definitely work with you because you're talking about those kind of clothes, shoes, small technology, and accessories. These are in my comfort zone. These are in my comfort zone. I do have like manufacturer sources myself when it comes to accessories, clothes, shoes, small technology. I can definitely, you know, help you sourcing on that. So you can DM me if you're talking about other like stuff. Like maybe I'll have to spend some time to look for it. However, if you're talking about those kind of stuff, I already have the sourcing resources. So just contact me, okay? Yeah. Let's see what's the other comments in here. Laugh my ass off. China makes everything. Yeah, China makes everything. Yeah. Shanghai is much more dangerous than New York City. In what sense, my friend? In what sense? Like dangerously making you become dangerously making you gain weight because there are so many delicious restaurants here in Shanghai. What do you mean like dangerous, my friend? So if you are literally saying like dangerous, okay, dangerous, like Shanghai is definitely way, way, way safer than New York. Okay, so I've been to New York for multiple times. Yeah, I know what New York is like, my friend. Okay, so Shanghai is so much more safer, so much safer here. So like I have shared multiple times that in Shanghai, like as a girl, that we would not be worried at all, scared at all to walk alone in the middle of night on the street, fear that we're going to be raped or robbed by some kidnapped by some other people. No worry of that at all. Okay, so Shanghai in my opinion is definitely way safer than New York. That is, I think that's for sure. Like guys from like who has been to China, Shanghai, New York, you guys can also say your opinion in the comment. Do you agree or disagree with me? Yeah, agree or disagree with me. Yeah, so it's like dangerous in a way. It's dangerous because you spend more in Shanghai. Yeah, it's dangerous in a way that you're going to spend more here in Shanghai. Well, not really, to be honest, because like compared to the New York price, Shanghai is like way cheaper, I think. Like Shanghai is like when it comes to like grocery store price, right, hotel price, and also like restaurants price, like everything is definitely way cheaper than than New York. So I don't think like, well, in that sense, still New York's more expensive, more dangerous, right? Yeah. But then when it comes to gaining weight, maybe. Yeah, but also New York has lots of like really nice restaurants. So I've been to New York. There are lots, like a lot of very tasty restaurants in New York. So gaining weight is probably still not like more dangerous in Shanghai because it's also very dangerous to gain weight in New York because there are so many good restaurants out there as well, right? Yeah. So too many armed gangs in Shanghai. Joking. Yeah, you're definitely joking. Yeah. Maybe Shanghai is dangerous in the parallel universe. Yeah, guys, follow me, please. Okay, follow me, please. I was joking about Shanghai being dangerous. Yeah, I know you're joking now, and I'm joking back. Can you tell I'm joking back? I didn't take it seriously. Okay, low's cheaper, right? Yeah, it's definitely cheaper. Cheaper mean more items to buy, need more baggages. Yeah, definitely. So if you ever come to China, prepare to bring 2 large suitcases, okay? And just fill the 2 suitcases with all the things you can buy here in China, because you're just find everything here insanely cheap compared to your countries, your cities. Yeah. So I've had previous, especially if you go to those like a third tier city, fourth tier city, when you go to those fifth tier city, you're gonna be amazed by how cheap it is. You know, I previously made a post showing people the prices in the grocery store in Changchun, which is like a third tier city in China, right? And people are like shocked by how cheap the price is there, and everyone like, oh girl, I'm moving to China. Everyone's like, I'm moving to China, it's so cheap. What? This is only cost you that much amount of money. So my friends, if you come to China, enjoying the 240 hours visa-free visit in here, make sure you bring 2 biggest size empty suitcase. Okay. And when you return, fill everything in it. Buy in every cheap stuff you see here. Okay. Yeah. Oh, right. Exactly. You're so smart, my friend. Buy the suitcases in Shanghai. Yeah, just come in here with empty hands and buy the suitcases here in China. Okay. And you don't need to buy it in Shanghai. You just buy it online because that's going to cheaper. Don't go to the shopping mall in Shanghai to buy the suitcase, okay? Because that's going to be expensive. If you come to China, once you arrive in the hotel, download those like e-commerce app like Taobao and JD, and you just buy the suitcase online because that's going to be so much cheaper than the suitcase in the shopping center, okay? And that is how you're going to enjoy all the very cheap stuff. And there's another thing you can do, my friend. Yeah. Hi, my friend from Greece. Welcome, my friend. Have you followed me? Guys, follow me, please, if you haven't done so. Another secret, okay? So if you go to some shopping mall and you see something like you really like, just don't buy it immediately, okay? You can actually do is download an app called Taobao or JD. And what you can do, there is actually a scan button inside the app. You can just press the scan button and scan item you see in a shopping mall, and there will be all of a sudden lots of the shopping lists popping up inside the app, and you're going to do a price comparison. Okay, you can do a price comparison if you're going to buy the same stuff online cheaper or in the shopping mall. Okay, if it's cheaper in the shopping mall, then just go buy in the shopping mall. If you scan the item and somehow it shows that it's more expensive, then just buy it online. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna just show you guys the scan feature. Okay, yeah, to show you guys. Does Amazon have the same feature? Does Amazon have the same feature? I don't know. Okay, so for example, I showed you guys this thing, right? I showed you guys this thing. For example, if you see this thing in a shopping center, what you're gonna do? You're gonna first of all open this app called Taobao or JD. Actually, I prefer JD, but let's do it the same, okay? And there's a button in here. There's a button, the scan button in here. You guys see it? There's a scan button in here. Oh, too bright. Okay. Anyhow, there's a scan button. I'm just gonna press it. You guys probably won't be able to see it. Okay, and it start to scan, right? It start to scan. So we're gonna just scan it. Scan it. Okay. And then immediately, once it's scanned, once it's scanned, all the items comes out, right? I showed you guys, like very convenient. So you come to China visa free, right? Afterwards, you start to visit all the shopping centers, and what you do next, whenever you see something, 用电脑直播最好可以投手机操作。我确实是用电脑直播的，但是怎么投手机操作？我靠，我现在确实是用电脑在直播，但是我不太懂怎么用手机投屏。Yeah，你可能要教我一下。Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna just show you guys again, okay? Show you guys again. Okay, so gonna scan this thing. Hard, okay? Guys, gonna scan this thing. Wait. It's not. Let's do it again, okay? Huh? Somehow starts to play the videos that I posted. Okay. Oh, okay. I know what happened. Okay, I'm gonna scan this thing. Right? Show you guys. You see it, right? 手机放在太下面了，我再上来一点。Okay, gonna do it. Okay, scan it, right? Gonna. You see, immediately all the stuff comes out, the same products. You're gonna just do a price comparison and see the ratings. And then say, for example, if you think, okay, this shop is pretty good because it has so many followers and they have and they have like good ratings, and we're probably just gonna purchase it here, right? Yeah, you guys see it? You guys see it? See it with your own eyes? The app is called Taobao. So all the e-commerce app here in China can do the very same thing. So what I use is called Taobao, Taobao. And there's also another app which is my favorite, which is JD, because they have like faster logistics and they are products I think is like better, in my opinion, better quality. JD.com. Yeah, show you guys. Okay, this is called JD. Okay, JD. Can you guys see it? Just JD. And this is Taobao. Taobao. Okay. Nowadays, lots of people are using Taobao. Americans people like having it shipped. How much is it? Right? Take a guess. How much does it cost? How much does it cost? Take a guess, my friend. How much does it cost? Take a guess. How much does this cost? And this is a hair volume increaser. This is a hair volume increaser. After putting in here for a while, it will increase the hair volume. Take a guess. How much does it cost? Oh my god, this is so cheap. 我靠，太便宜了这个东西啊。Yeah, take a guess. How much does it cost? I'm looking on Temu. You're cheating. No look on Temu, my friend. Just guess it directly. Just guess it directly. Yeah, how much does it cost? How much does it cost, guys? Take a guess. Take a guess. How much does it cost? How much does it cost? This thing I'm doing right now in here on my hair. So like different shops charges differently, and I just saw the cheapest. The cheapest. How much does it cost, my friend? Take a guess. How much does it cost? Yeah, some people say $2, 12 renminbi, 12 renminbi, $5, $9. It's like 14 renminbi. Okay. You guys see it with your own eyes. How much does it cost? Oh, okay, I'm gonna do the mirror way so that you guys can see it more clearly. Okay, 我把它镜像一下，这样大家能看到。I'm gonna mirror it so that you guys can kind of see the price. Yeah. 我靠，手机卡住了。Yeah, I'm gonna mirror it so that you guys can see it. 哎呀，不行了，这个 iPhone 13用的太久了，我换了一个新的手机。Yeah, guys, still keep on taking a guess. How much does it cost? Keep on taking a guess. How much does it cost? How much does it cost? Okay, how much does it cost? And I'm gonna show you guys. Okay, show you guys how much does it cost. Okay, and 把它这个镜像一下，好，这样大家能够看得更清楚。I'm gonna mirror it so that you guys can see exactly how much does it cost by yourself with your own eyes. Okay, so that I would not be lying. Did you see how much it cost, my friend here? Did you see how much it costs in here? It's costing you only 2 renminbi. So for those of you who say like £1 that equals to 10 renminbi, who says $1 that equals to 7 renminbi. So this is how much? How much? Let me see. How much? 我来看一下，2块钱人民币是多少 cents? Less than 30 cents. Less than 30 cents. Less than 30 cents for this. Less than 30 cents here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 妹妹，你确实猜对了。我当时就看到，我想说，我好厉害，她猜对了。Yeah, it's a hair volume increaser. Yeah, it increases hair volume. It's not $2, it's 2 renminbi, my friend. And you have to divide your $2 by 7, and that is the price of this thing that we're going to purchase it here in China. Okay, this is how cheap it is. So if you can purchase it directly from the factory, that's going to be even more way cheaper, right? I'm pretty sure the cost of it is like extremely cheap. Yeah. Oh, actually 30 cents less than, it's actually 27 cents to be exact. Okay, 27 cents to be exact. Yeah, and they say like also you look on the screen, it says like if you buy 2 you can get less than 2 renminbi. Yeah, $0.3. That's the price of this thing. So everything is so cheap. If I can imagine if you buy it in the US, this very same thing. Well, first of all, I don't think you can find it easily here in the there in the US to buy this thing, right? If yes, well, can anyone just help me look it up? Like what's the price there on Amazon? Like this thing on Amazon, I want to know like how much does it cost? $10, right? On Amazon, it's $10, and here is 30 cents, 27 cents. Okay, $0.27. Okay, a quarter, right? Just a quarter. Yeah, for the set of two. Okay, so it's like just a quarter US dollars to buy this, and Amazon is like $10, right? Like Louis the Cat, just look it up, right? So it's a hair volume increaser, a hair volume increaser. Yeah. So, haha, you said 25 cents, right? You said a quarter, right? So it only costs one quarter, a quarter here to buy it here in China, but on Amazon, it's like, yeah. So talk about the country that has the biggest manufacturing industry. That's the kind of life we're living here in China. Are you jealous, my friend? Are you jealous? Literally 45 times cheaper in China. That's crazy, right? Exactly. So that's why you guys need to come to China empty hands, buy a suitcase, buy two largest size suitcase and fill everything here. You buy cheapest price, fill the two suitcases with everything you buy here. Yeah. Your hair is so quiet. Your use hair volume increaser. Yeah, I do use like I consider myself like to have like quite okay hair. It's just like my this part of my head is like really flat, so I need a hair volume increaser to make myself look better. Otherwise, like because I have a pretty high hair liner, so that's why you see I previously used this what's this thing, my friend? Do you guys know what's this thing? No. I'm booking flight ticket now. Welcome, Mei Mei. Welcome, Strawberry. Yeah, what's this, my friend? You have like all sorts of things like here in China. Like I could just find 100% of I have yeah, and also this is another very interesting. I have like so many things on my table. Okay, this. Do you guys know this? What's this? What's this? How expensive is your shirt? If it's this one. I don't really remember. It's I think it's around like this shirt. It should be around like 200 something, 200 renminbi something. 200 renminbi is like less than 300 US dollars. Oh, wait, sorry. Less than 30 US dollars. Yeah, 27 US dollars. This shirt I think around 30 US dollars this shirt, which looks quite good quality, right? What do you guys think? Yeah. Yeah, so what are these two things? What are these two things, guys? Take a guess. What are these two things? Yeah. So this I've been using it for a while, so for like quite many years. So it's this part is falling, but anyhow, so it's pretty cool. Like what's this? It's just a brush. Just a brush. It's just like, but however, it has a magic. It has a magic. So, for example, when you wash your hair, especially for ladies, right? After you wash your hair, like if you use like a normal comb to brush your teeth, brush your hair, then it would be like going like, oh, cannot go down, right? You have those kind of problems. But this is like very easy. Even when your hair is like all wet, you just wash your hair, like brush it, it goes all the way down very smoothly. So this is this brush, okay? Purchased in China, very cheap. And also this is the gua sha ban, right? Like I said, it's gonna increase the blood circulation on our face and help lift your face up, right? So for example, if I do it 50 times on this side of my face, you're gonna immediately see this side of face lift up better than this side of face, right? And also I showed you guys this hair volume increaser, right? Gonna increase the hair volume. And also like even though I increase the hair volume, still like I have a very high hairline, right? So there's also comes this stuff, which is hair 发际线粉 hairline powder, so that the moment you put this hairline powder onto the hair, yeah, see. So I no longer it's gonna yeah after doing it a little bit, it's gonna make my hair liner to be like lower, right? So I don't have like a very big forehead. I'm gonna make myself look better, right? It's pretty also pretty natural, right? Yeah. show you guys, right? So this is another thing. So you have like all sorts of like very interesting kind of products you can purchase here in China, and like very very interestingly, yeah. So like after doing this, like my hair looks no longer, my hairliner don't look like a lot taller, right? Yeah, it looks like it doesn't look like as tall as before, right? You guys see it, right? Yeah, but you do have some skills, right? Still like it's quite natural, right? Yeah, yeah. How this look? How this look? Looks okay, right? Yeah. So that's the hair liner powder, like to lower the hair liner so that to make your face look smaller, right? Yeah. It's pretty natural, like pretty natural. 我靠，我觉得我真的可以带货了，今天感觉全部都在带货一样，但其实什么货都没带，什么货都没有带。Amazing, right? So you can buy everything, literally everything, using the e-commerce platform here in China. And also, I showed you guys like with it or without it, you still look gorgeous. Thank you, Mario. Yeah, guys, have you followed me? And also, I show this paper fan, right? We can have this paper fan tailor made that says like anything about China, right? I had this is a smaller size of paper fan, and this is a bigger size, right? A smaller size and a bigger size, and the back that says Nitrix, right? And just so you know, like this camera is like mirrored, right? So to me, to you guys, you see like anything about China, right? To me, it's like mirrored. Like, so I see it as like, when I see it as like anything about China, it's like mirrored. So everything is like tailor made. I just basically find a merchants online on the e-commerce platform, and I was able to just order it. So that is how convenient China is. Like China is super, super convenient, extremely, extremely convenient. So yeah, and you guys need to come to China and see everything, witness everything with your own eyes. Okay, see everything, witness everything with your own eyes. Okay, yeah. Yeah. How do you guys find it so far? How do you guys find it so far? I love that TikTok is connecting me to China. I love learning about the culture and what life is here. Fantastic, Faith. You know what? I also have found the live streaming to be extremely great because I myself also learned a lot about other countries' culture. And you guys would tell me so many things inside the common area that I used to, have some stereotypes, and you help me break those stereotypes. And also, like, for example, I don't have knowledge on certain things. For example, just this week, right, in the live stream 2 or 3 days ago, and I got to know that for like many states in America, like your New Mexico, your California, your your New Mexico, your California, your Arizona, but Nevada, like many states in your country were actually Mexico's. And then later on, they were sold to the US, become part of the US. And also, Alaska was once Russia. It was also sold the US, but that's like forced sold to the US. Yeah, because the like Mexico lost the war, so that's why they have to sell their land to the US. And that's why like California, Texas, those are the states with fantastic Mexican food because they were used to be Mexico's, not US. Yeah. So I got to know a lot about that as well, like my friends from you guys. So that's also great. Yeah. They were stolen after US went back on the Treaty of Guadalupe. Yeah. So what is your opinion on the trade? So Mario, we just finished talking about it. Yeah. So we just finished talking about it. So my opinion is not going to be good to either side, but overall speaking, I think that's going to cause more bad to the US than China. That's my opinion. Yeah. Can you explain about Can you explain tier cities? Oh, sure, sure, sure. Like many foreigners don't know about the tier cities, right? So in China, we actually categorize different cities according to their like population, their international level, their GDP growth, etc. So there are like multiple criteria that we would take into consideration when we judge like which tier cities should one city be in. Okay, so I think altogether there are 5 different tiers of cities. Yeah. So there are altogether 5 tier of cities. So for the first tier city, there are only I think like four cities in it. So definitely 2 cities which are most famous, right? Which is Beijing and Shanghai. That is in the first tier city. Okay, these are the 2 cities inside the first tier city. Can you guys take a guess who are the rest of the first tier city? Which city else is inside the first tier city, which is like the top tier city? Okay, so when you talk about top tier city, it means that the city that has a lot of population, has a very strong economic growth, you know. So these are considered our international level, like lots of commerce from outside worlds. So what are the other like top tier cities? Yeah, I just said Beijing and Shanghai, right? People don't need to guess immediately. No, like for sure, Beijing and Shanghai definitely top tier cities, right? So what are also the cities that is inside top tier city? Not Xiamen, not Chongqing. These are not top tier city, my friend. Top tier city ranking is unofficial as far as I understand. I think so. I think it's not official ranking. Yeah, Guangdong is a province. It's not a city, my friend. Guangdong is a province. There are like many cities inside Guangdong. Well, you can say Hong Kong is for first tier city. Yeah, definitely. But usually we wouldn't say Hong Kong because Hong Kong is not part of mainland China. It's China, but it's not mainland China. So we don't usually say Hong Kong is first tier city. So when we say like first tier city, we usually just describe the mainland Chinese cities. Okay. We just describe mainland Chinese cities. Okay. Yeah. So Guangzhou, well, yes and no. Yes and no. Shenzhen, yes, for sure. Yeah. So before there's a saying called 北上广深, okay, 北上广深, which means Beijing, Beijing, Shanghai, Shanghai, Guangzhou, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen, Shenzhen, okay? So they were saying like there are four cities that's considered to be top tier city, which is 北上广深, Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen. However, after the economic development nowadays, to be honest, in my opinion, I consider Hangzhou to be also a first tier city. Yeah, I think Hangzhou is also a first tier city. I really like the city of Hangzhou. I really like Hangzhou. Yeah. In my opinion, I think like Hangzhou should replace Guangzhou. Is there any friends from Guangzhou? Sorry for that, but I do think it should be like 北上 Hangshen rather than 北上 Guangshen, because Hangzhou is like developing so fast. The reason why Hangzhou was like developing so fast, one of the very key reason was because Alibaba was headquartered in Hangzhou. Yeah. So Alibaba was headquartered in Hangzhou, so the city attracted lots of like top tier talents from around the country to work and live in Hangzhou, and that's gonna help to build the city, right? So Hangzhou is, also like considered to be a very top tier city in my opinion. Okay, so nowadays we can say like Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, Hangzhou, or maybe also Guangzhou. These are the top tier cities. Okay, so then there comes to the second tier city and third tier cities. Okay, so like the second tier city then are like less, well, maybe less like economic growth compared to the first tier cities and less talented talents. And also like different cities are according, if you look at a country level, okay, so different country has different, so different cities, different provinces have different like strategies, right? For example, for the northeast part of China, the northeast part of China, those kind of provinces, especially for Jilin province, so that is province for agriculture. So their main businesses there is agriculture. So when you're talking about those cities inside these large agriculture province, then there's no way they're going to be first tier city. Okay, because in order to have like very big economic growth inside the cities, you have to have like lots of businessmen in there, right, doing lots of business domestically and internationally, right? That makes sense. Makes sense啊，错过了9点整，忘了。是忘记了，聊太嗨了，谢谢你啊，Christy 小 C。哎呀，你们以后提醒我一下，我真的忘了，忘了。哎，你好，没关系。但昨天好像最棒的上了榜2了，我就真的觉得很厉害，谢谢你们，完全忘记了，聊嗨了，我根本就没看时间。呀，下次我也记得提醒，谢谢你啊，Little Christy。Yeah. So, which province is agriculture? Jilin. I think Jilin province and also Shandong province. These are the provinces for agriculture, like large agriculture province. For example, like Jilin is very famous for producing rice. Chinese people all eat rice, right? So we use rice as our main. So every one of us Chinese people eat rice. So the Northeast Chinese rice is like really, really good. Okay, so they grow lots of rice as well as many other kind of vegetables out there. So Jilin is a very big agriculture province, and also Shandong is also a very big agriculture province. For those like very big agriculture province, when so for those of them, when the country strategy on those provinces is about agriculture, then the entire province, people inside the province would be more focused on those kind of industries, right? Rather than doing business like Shanghai, like Beijing, like Shenzhen, right? Also, like for example, for Shenzhen areas, why I said that previously, I remember someone asked me like, "Oh, wait, 我直播间外国人多吗？非常多，非常多，没来了快跑非常多。Yeah. So like people ask me like, hey, where can I find manufacturers? And I said like if you're talking about those 3C products, right? Those 3C products, those kind of 3C products, then definitely Shenzhen, Guangdong area, Dongguan, right? Because those are the provinces, they have cities and provinces that from the country level that they strategize those kind of provinces and cities to be the Silicon Valley hub, the Chinese Silicon Valley, so that all those like new tech stuff are gonna just build here. And then also, if you are an entrepreneur and you want to start up a new business, right? It's inside those 3C industry, then you would just most likely want to start up the business in those areas because like when a country level they have strategized these areas to be the kind of places to do all those kind of manufacturings, they have lots of policies that is going to be beneficial for entrepreneurs who want to start a business in those kind of areas, right? Makes sense. The latest immigrants which arrive here are mainly from Guangdong. Yeah, Mario, which country are you from? Which country are you from, Mario? Which country are you from, Mario? So, yeah, so that's why, like, in many of the like immigrant countries like US, Canada, you would see lots of people from Guangdong area and they speak Cantonese. So before, lots of the foreigners just think like Chinese people speak Cantonese, but the thing is that we most of us actually speak Mandarin. It's just that the early immigrants that come from China to those kind of immigrant countries like Canada, Australia, or America, they are from Guangdong area. So that's why they speak Cantonese, and somehow people just have the impression that Chinese people speak Cantonese. Okay, yeah, because they are the people by the sea. Okay, if you look at the Guangdong province, if you look at the map of China, so Guangdong area is by the sea. So they are the people who find it easiest to go from China to other countries, to emigrant from China to immigrant to other countries. So they are the first people who was were able to migrate to other countries. Yeah. Can you find me factory to make super good quality bags? I have to source. I'll have to source, my friend. I have to source. Yeah, so far I already have like my own personal sourcing of factories to manufacture like earrings, accessories, right? And also sunglasses and also what's it called? 钥匙扣. The key, what's it said? Key, the thing that's Fujian province too. Yeah, yeah, Fujian province too. Yeah. Key 钥匙扣 怎么说? How to say 钥匙扣? So the kind of thing you use to hold a key. Key 什么? Yeah, and also skincare products, cosmetics. Yeah, so there are lots of to immigrant, not to immigrant. Oh, to immigrate. Yeah. Sorry, immigrate. Yeah. Speaking Mandarin, people understand Cantonese. No. Keychain. Yeah. Keychain. Yes, right. Keychain. Yeah. Thank you. So Mandarin people, speaking Mandarin people don't understand Cantonese. They are very different pronunciation system. So for example, I speak Mandarin, right? 我是讲普通话的。我一开始如果没有学过广东话，我是完全听不懂广东话的，对吧？我们很多中国人都是这样的。If I speak Mandarin and I have never learned Cantonese before, then I don't understand Cantonese. Okay. Likewise, for Cantonese people, if they haven't learned Mandarin, they don't know how to speak Mandarin and they don't understand Mandarin either. Okay. So even though when it comes to writing, the both like language system are the same, very same. Okay. When it comes to writing, however, when the pronunciation, they are totally different, totally different. So that's why you don't understand each other. Yes, like completely different. It's not like British accent and American accent. You guys don't understand each other. It's like completely different pronunciation. Just so you know that China has so many ethnicity groups and so many different cities, and inside different cities and different province, they have like their very own dialects. Like for me, I'm from Shanghai, right? As a Shanghainese, I definitely speak Shanghainese local dialects, and many people don't understand Shanghainese local dialects. 老多人是听不懂上海话，因为上海话帮其他的方言词不一样嘛，对吧，朋友？呀，有没有上海朋友？你想有没有上海朋友？ By the way, it's nice to see Nitrix makes mistakes in English. Yeah, to prove that I am Chinese and I'm not a native speaker, right? And also, I'm always very glad. I'm very welcome you guys to pick the kind of mistakes I make when I speak English, okay? English is not my mother tongue, and it would be great if you guys help me improve my English, which is great. Okay, I wouldn't feel bad at all if you guys just tell me what are the mistakes I'm making when I speak English. Okay, yeah. Easy to pick up Mandarin if you're Cantonese? Not really. Like both sides, it's not. 我擦，我没关注你，但每天都刷到你，你每天都刷到我了，你还不关注我？这是老天爷在告诉你你要关注我的，你知道吗，哥们儿？哥们儿还是姐们儿？完美羡慕，Yeah. By the way, Nitrous has made 3 mistakes in English in the last 2 hours. That almost like bragging. You know what? I am a Chinese and English is not my mother tongue, and I made 3 mistakes in English in the last 2 hours. That feels like almost like bragging about myself. 关注了小姐姐，好的行。Okay, for guys, if you haven't followed me, follow me please. Okay, those of you who haven't followed me, definitely follow me. Okay, definitely follow me. Okay, my wife says yes. What says what? Did you propose to her and she said yes? Yeah, let's show it to them to what small portion of Chinese speak Cantonese. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, especially in the Guangdong area because their local dialect is Cantonese. They not they got I was like English they and Cantonese. 佢哋講廣東話. Yeah. 佢哋講廣東話. Canton area. 佢哋講廣東話. Yeah. Yeah. So I can also speak Cantonese, but it's just not very accurate, very like native. Like people when they hear me speak Cantonese, they can immediately tell that I'm not from Canto area. Cantonese. I'm not Cantonese. Yeah. 会说中文吗？我都前面在說汕洋話，在說廣東話，你說我會不會說中文？我剛剛已經嚟講上海話啦，都開始講廣東話啊！你問我係唔係中國人？我當然係中國人啦。Yeah, easy to learn Mandarin. She's Cantonese. No, I'm not Cantonese, my friend. I'm Shanghainese. I'm Shanghainese. Oh, you're saying your wife. Okay. So you're saying that your wife is a Cantonese and it's easy for her to learn Mandarin, right? Oh, okay. Oh, I got it. Yeah, following you. Yeah, great, guys. Follow me, please, if you haven't done so. Okay. Yeah. 你不是宁波的吗？我是上海的，但是我祖上是宁波的。Yeah, so just another piece of knowledge. So many people have to know that so Shanghai itself is a immigrant city. Okay, so the country of China is not an immigrant country, but the Shanghai city is an immigrant city. Okay, so many people in Shanghai were actually immigrated from other cities, other provinces of China. Okay. So, for example, for our generation, even though we are all Shanghainese, like locally born in Shanghai and grew up in Shanghai, but if you look at 3 generations above us, for example, for our generation, many of our parents was also like born and raised in Shanghai. However, if you look at the parents above them, like our grandparents or the grandparents, then they are not Shanghainese. Okay, for example, I told you that my grandparents are not Shanghainese, right? But my parents are Shanghainese because they were born and raised in Shanghai. So that is why we say like Shanghai is an immigrant city. So it's very, very rare to find like locally Shanghainese people who are having like many generations above them who are always from Shanghai. It's very, very hard to find like very, very 本地的上海人。本地上海人是很难找的。Majority of the people here in Shanghai you see are actually their ancestors are immigrants from other cities and other provinces in China. Okay. Well, actually, not ancestors, because when talking about ancestor, we're basically just talking about our grandparents, right? And our grandparents, they're from other cities. So Shanghai itself is a very immigrant city. So that's why I say that Shanghai is also a very new city, a city with like very diversified culture, very Western culture, Chinese culture, and culture from everywhere around China, you know? 谢谢小姐姐给外国人介绍并传播中国文化，这是我的这个义务呗，这是我的责任呗。中国的宝宝们如果也很享受的话，就多给我点点赞吧。Yeah, so yeah, very just like New York City, right? So in New York City, you have people from literally everywhere, right? And also because right now Shanghai is the top tier city. We just explained what is top tier city, what is second tier city. I think speak English, Korea, Russian, half as well as Nitrix speaks English. What do you mean? What do you mean? Like I think speak English. So you're saying like you speak English, Korean, Russian half as well as I speak English? Is that what you mean? Anyhow, yeah. You're beautiful and nice. And have you guys followed me? Is Shanghainese ever spoken on news or TV media? Yeah, there are like local Shanghainese TV station. So inside the Chinese Shanghainese TV station, then the host would speak Shanghainese. And I remember when I was little, I would watch those kind of comedian show, local in Shanghai, local Shanghai TV medium, and every those comedian actor or actresses just perform the comedy speaking Shanghainese. So yes, yeah, yeah. So where were I? What was I just? Oh yeah, we were talking about like there are like multiple tier cities, right? We discussed about the multiple tier cities, right? So because Shanghai now is the top tier city, when it comes to top tier city, those are usually also the city with most job opportunities, right? You definitely have more job opportunities in Shanghai and Beijing than other cities, and also because there are more job opportunities, and therefore there are also more fiercer competition, so that is why like every year we have like new immigrants moving from other cities and other provinces to Shanghai. So Shanghai itself is an immigrant city. Like for like us, like for our generation, like I said, we are local Shanghainese people, but our generation above us, like our grandparents, our grandparents are from other cities. Up to today, still it is an immigrant city in a way that every day you're seeing people moving from other parts of China, other provinces of China, the cities of China to Shanghai and start a living, make a living in here, to start their job here. So like continue to be an immigrant cities to have so many people coming in. So especially 主播我来了，你就不用担心点在这方面了。好的，行，Go with the wind，交给你了，交给你了，交给你了。Yeah. Yeah, I was saying like someone's comment said a follower called Go with the Wind. Like, since I am here, don't worry about getting likes in the live stream. And I'm like, thank you, count on you, thank you, count on you. Okay, so count on all those people who are gonna click the likes, sending the likes in here. Okay, yeah. So it's also very interesting that you start to see one very interesting phenomenon. Whenever it's the Chinese New Year, then Shanghai becomes all of a sudden empty because why? It is a tradition in Chinese New Year that people would have a reunion with families. They would then fly or take a train back to their hometown and spend the Chinese New Year with their closest, most intimate family members, right? So, in that sense, because Shanghai is an immigrant city, what happens during Chinese New Year's that all the immigrants inside Shanghai then would travel back to their own cities or their own like province, their own like rural villages, right? So as a result, especially during like the Chinese New Year, Shanghai becomes an empty city. And for our local Shanghainese people, then we find it, oh my God, it's so relaxing the city because no matter where you go, there's just no people. And it's because Shanghai used to be like usually it's like very super crowded. If you go to the Bund, go to Nanjing Walking Street, you go to Yu Garden, all those like tourist attraction places, it's always full of people, like so many people. And when it's Chinese New Year, the city is like empty, like everyone is like so happy. And when you drive on the road, you can just don't follow the traffic rules because there's no cars beside you. Yeah, that's like that. Don't travel during Chinese New Year. Yeah, that's also true. Don't travel because the flight ticket is going to be so expensive. Train ticket is going to be so expensive as well. So for foreigners, if you have the plan to visit China, just try to visit during a time that is not public holidays, so that you don't see like a lot of people everywhere. Yeah. Technically, migrant city instead of immigrant city. Okay, migrant city. Yeah，可惜听不懂。单阳王叫听听就听懂啦。很多人说听着听着就听懂了。我英文讲的还是用词还是相对比较简单的。Yeah, my Mandarin is improving rapidly. Luckily, I hope to visit someday. But you should visit, come here. Yeah, without knowing Mandarin, you don't need to know a lot of Mandarin to come to China, my friend. You can just come to China, and there are plenty of apps nowadays can help you with the translation. And Chinese people are super friendly. They would help you on things that require Mandarins. Yeah, and also if you come to visit places like Shanghai, where everywhere here is pretty international, so you do have like lots of people who are able to speak English. Yeah, like myself. Yeah. I want to hear the stories of older people and people my age about the country culture. How old are you, my friend? How old are you? 其实好几个平台，我现在用电脑播，一播就播，同时好几个平台。所以，但是呢，我基本上我这边看评论的话，主要看小红书和杨董，对，会来互动了。Yeah, and guys, follow me please. Okay, follow me please. You haven't done so. Yeah, follow me please, my friend. You follow me. In terms of religion, 90% of people here are not religious. So people here are superstitious, but we are not religious. Yeah, superstitious in a way that Chinese people really like to visit the temple and pray to the Buddhas and wishing that, hey, I want to score high in my college entrance examination so that I get to my ideal university, or I wish to the Buddha that I can be pregnant next year, or this year, so that I can have a baby, lovely baby daughter or baby son. Is Confucius a religion? No, Confucius is not religion, my friend. Confucius is not religion. It's a philosophy. It's not a religion. Yeah, it's a philosophy. It's not religion. Yeah. So why do a lot of Chinese families send their kids to school abroad? Because our education system is very competitive as well. In order to get to the very top tier kind of universities, students have to study extremely, extremely hard. You have to know that exactly, especially for example, Peking University, Tsinghua University, those are the very top tier universities that you have to study like to be the top one, top two in your province, which has like 10 million, 20 million people in order to get to those top tier universities. So in our university system, there are Confucianism is a way of life and philosophy. Yeah, exactly. You're right. So it's not a religion, it's a way of life, right? So, for example, in Confucius saying, I have shared multiple times that it teaches people to be like modest, right? To be humble and be modest. It's considered to be a Chinese virtue because, like, it is said in Confucius saying that 三人行必有我师. If I'm traveling with two other people, one of them must be my teacher. That shows that people, hey, you always need to be humble because people around you can be smarter than you. There are always things you can learn from others, right? And also saying like 有朋自远方来，不亦乐乎, which is telling people in China that we need to be friendly to people from other countries, other places, because it says isn't a joy to have people coming from friends from afar, right? So whenever we have visitors come in China, we need to treat them nicely and warmly. So that is also Confucius saying, right? So Confucius had lots of like saying, which is teaching people the way of living, the way of thinking. So that is called 儒家文化. Okay, so it's more like a philosophy, way of living rather than religion. It's definitely not a religion. Okay, yeah. So when you talk about religion, it's more about like the life after life kind of things. So Confucianism doesn't touch on those kind of topics. Okay, so back to the university system. Okay, we're discussing about that. Yeah. You sound intelligent. You're right, Rare Earth. So that's why you need to follow me. How many of you guys have followed me? If you haven't followed me, follow me. That's true, unless you're traveling with US Marines. Wait, what's special about US Marines, my friend? What's special about US Marines? Yeah. And yeah, and thank you, Priscilla, for following me, Yeah, and Jack shit, shit. Okay, for following me. Yeah. And also back to the university system. Like I was saying that, yeah, thank you, Toto Mama, for following me. Yeah, so I was saying that in our university system, in Chinese university system, there are altogether also three tiers. Well, which is a tier one undergrad and tier two undergrad and tier three undergrad, right? 一本、二本、三本，对吧？中国人都知道这个一本、二本、三本。So like there are university that falls in first tier, like first tier undergrad, and there are university that falls in second tier, and there are university falls into third tier, right? So there are just limited number of first tier universities, and usually like lots of the employers here in China, when they hire people, they actually do look at your education background. They do look at your education background. So people who graduated from university that is of the first tier undergrad universities are getting higher chance of getting a better job at a better companies. So however, like for students, in order to get to the first tier university, you have to study extremely hard to get to the first tier like universities, right? Many people they are not able to get into the first tier undergrad. They can only go to the second tier, third tier. Sometimes they cannot get an undergrad degree at all because their college university entrance examination score is simply not high enough. Okay, so it's very competitive when it comes to getting into the best university here in China. Yeah. First tier university is called 985 universities exactly. Yeah, 985嘛211 985 985和211的区别是啥？其实我不太清楚这个东西。Yeah. So the admission is dependent only on Gaokao exam. Exactly. Exactly. So in the US, when you apply for university, they would not only look at your SATs, SAT scores that, right? They would also ask you to submit a personal statement and also look at your other kind of your like the kind of other activities you have done, right? And also ask you to submit a CV or something, right? It's a very well-rounded kind of judging of you as a potential candidate, whether you're qualified to get into my university, right? However, in China, the system is very different. It's yeah, extracurricular. Yeah, you're right, Patty. You know that I'm looking for this word, right? Extra, ex, extracurriculars. So for the US university systems, you would not only look at the scores that students get from attending the tests, but also their extracurricular, well, this word is hard, extracurricular kind of activities of the students. They would also have sometimes even having an interview with the students, right? Before you say yes to the student to to study in your university, right? So, however, in China is purely based on the exam scores. It's purely on the exam scores. Okay. So you don't submit a personal statement to the universities. You don't need to file an application. You don't do anything of that. Okay. Basically, it works in a way that before the university entrance examination, or sometimes in some provinces, it's like after the university entrance examination, then there is a form, which is just a piece of paper. And then you write down what is your first choice of the university, what's your second choice, what's your third choice, okay? And then you go to attend the university entrance examination, 然后你就去参加高考了. And then 1 month later, after the university entrance examination, the score was released, right? And then you will see the score you get, and you're going to see the university also announcing the score of their admission score. Okay. So say for example, for one university, they would only accept students who score higher than 540 points and you score 600 points, then you're able to get into the university, right? However, you score less than 540, then you're not able to get into the university. Okay, so that comes to your second choice. What's your second choice? What's the score for that university? Are you able to score higher or lower than the admission score? Then that's how it works. Okay. And yes, tuition of the university in China is very cheap because majority of the universities here in China are public universities. So they charge extremely cheap tuition fee. So for a whole year tuition fee, it's gonna be like less than 700 US dollars. So that's the kind of tuition fee we're enjoying here, like super cheap. So like back to the question, I still haven't really answered why there are so many Chinese people attending universities abroad. Okay. So I have elaborated so much, but still back to the question. Okay, so what was my first choice back then? So I got early admitted to the university, Shanghai Jiaotong University, 我是提早录取的. I was admitted to the university before attending the university entrance examination. I was already guaranteed a spot in the university. So they had some like they want to so some of the university, in order to have some very talented good students to to study in their university, they would provide some spots, just lock the spot for those excellent students to get into their university before the university entrance examination. So I was early admitted to Shanghai Jiaotong University before the university entrance examination. So as a matter of fact, I don't need to score anything as long as I'm able to reach the first tier like score, which is like relatively low compared judging from my study. I was pretty good at studying back then. So I was early admission, so I didn't really uh, apply anything. I don't really remember. It was like many years ago. Okay. Yeah. So back to the question. To answer that question, you sound and look intelligent, not surprised. Lovely. Thank you, my friend. Yeah. So back to the question. So why still like nowadays there are so many Chinese students studying abroad? Because like I said, it's not easy to get into the top tiers universities in here in China. And only getting to the great universities here in China can you find a very good job. So what does it happen? What happens is that many parents then consider what are the alternatives. So say for example, I have a son, I have a daughter who's not very good at, exams. So maybe if he or she attends the university entrance examinations here in China, then he or she might not be able to get into a good university. So what I can do is maybe I'm just going to find an agent that helps students here in China to apply for schools overseas, right? I pay a lot of money, and then somehow those kind of agency can help find a spot in some of the universities abroad, and my kids can then study in those universities, right? And then when you then return back to China, then they are the type of students with an overseas degree. Okay, having an overseas degree is then different. So that is how they're able to like still win a chance of getting a good job inside those good companies. Yeah, so that's why like you have lots of students, but of course it's this is like one thing. Okay, there's another thing, which is there are like really talented, extremely talented students studying abroad, because there are so many wonderful universities out there, right? There's so many wonderful university out there. Like people do want to get access to the very high quality education resources out there, right? So the reason why after I finished my undergrad degree and further pursued a master degree in London School of Economics, which is also considered to be a top university, right? So the reason behind that is because I know there are like great education resources out there in those like top tier universities. So I do want to pursue a further degree in those universities, right? So back then I also applied to all those top tier university like MIT, like Princeton and everything, right? I was admitted. I was able to get into the second round for MIT. I got the interview, but unfortunately was not admitted in the end. But still, like LSE is also a very good university itself as well, right? So I did my master degree as well, right? So there are two types of people that would go to study abroad, right? First is like very smart, extremely excellent students who wants to pursue a very high degree in the US or in UK or other countries in the world, and they want to have overseas studying experience, then they want to study overseas. There are also like students who are not so good at studying, then they were sent by their parents to study abroad so that when they return to China, they are a student, they are a person with an overseas degree, and that's going to make them seem relatively more competitive when it comes to job application. Okay, yeah, Chinese students tend to be more hardworking. Yeah, exactly. So I also share with you guys that I did an exchange program in University of Texas at Austin, right? UT Austin, right? So it's so fun that back then I studied accounting. So there are Chinese students inside UT Austin, like they're undergrad degrees students, they're undergrads, right? Chinese undergrads inside UT Austin, but they are also like exchange students like us, like coming from Shanghai Jiaotong University and study in UT Austin, right? And then they said that every time exchange students from Shanghai Jiaotong University study in their class, because we score so high, and we're just gonna cause their curves to be higher. Okay. So many of you might not know about the curving system. Okay. So the curving system works in a way because sometimes a professor might, you know, just prepare the exam that is like too difficult. So everyone just score very low. Okay. So usually, for example, above the score of 90 is A, right? Above the score of 80 is B, and 70 is C, as 60 is C, and then what is D, right? However, maybe, for example, if the exam is too difficult, then like even the top students still is able to score only 70, right? They are going to just curve the entire scores so that like score over 70 is going to be A, right? That's called the curving system, right? Curving system. So for the curving system, like they just say like complain about it back then. They were saying like, oh, okay, this you Chinese exchange students coming here, you are gonna just cause this curving system to be higher because you always are able to reach like very top scores, and the rest of us are gonna just score like mid level or even low. So that's why like you're so friendly to the overall speaking the scoring system. Yeah, so okay, it's 9:30, my friends. It's 9:30. It's over 9:30. So again, a very interesting, fun morning with you guys. Keep Austin weird. Yeah, I haven't been back. I quite missed the time in Austin. Yeah, like Austin, Texas Longhorns. Yeah, this their culture. This is something. They have like Austin Bulls, like the Austin Longhorns. So they would do lots of the hand gestures like that. Yeah. Anyhow, like guys, it's really good to see all of you guys in here. Oh, I really hate this champagne. Yeah, this champagne is the Okay, I'm gonna see whether I can ban this guy. I'm definitely gonna ban this guy. Okay. Let me see. I need to ban this guy. 我这要骂人了。这个上盆，你是傻逼吗你？真的，我很少在直播间骂人啊。这个人真的是要骂人了，这个人真的是傻逼哦！天天跑过来在这边 spam，我怎么样在电脑上面去把这个人给 ban 掉呢？我要拼命的举报这个人。OK，卡了呀，卡了。OK，我要把这个哥们，我要拼命举报他。我真的我很少碰到，It's very rare for me to find someone that I really really dislike up to a point that I almost like hate this person. That this champagne, this champagne, yeah. God, I hate this guy. I hate this guy. Okay, yeah. Anyhow，这个人真的是傻逼，太傻逼了，真的是神经病哦！这个男的真的是。Yeah, I click to follow you, and the next day I'm not following anymore. Why? Yeah. Okay. Anyhow, guys, that's all for today. Thank you so much for coming in. Okay. Thank you so much for coming in. And I look forward to seeing you. Well, tomorrow I probably will take a day off. Okay. I'm thinking like every week I'm just gonna take one day off. Okay. So Sunday I'm gonna take my time off, and we will back to see you guys on Monday. Okay. Yeah. See you guys on Monday. Bye bye.